Hello and welcome back to EastEnders Weekly, your weekly podcast all about cherry?
Cherry?
Cherry.
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 Cherry?
Cherry.
Blueberry.
Cherry Slater, I quite like that. When are we going to wet our head?
No, it's not about Cherry Slater. Not yet.
It soon will be.
It is about EastEnders, your
Yes.
lovely weekly soap.
Yes. I'm Alex, by the way.
You are, and I am Ben, the host, apparently. And we are discussing episodes that were broadcast between the 10th and the 14th of December. We had a two-hander this week, which is always exciting.
And it didn't disappoint either. It was a good episode.
No, it was
really
very
fun
good.
episode. I was a bit worried to look at Twitter after the episode had aired to see the haters, and there weren't many. There were a lot
was
of people
good.
enjoyed the episode.
Lots happened.
A heck of a lot happened. It was a very turbulent episode as well, and it really, I don't know about you, but we'll talk about it in obviously detail later.
Uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable to watch. My stomach was like tense the whole time. It was good for anyone who squats, I suppose.
Speaking of uncomfortable watch and makes your stomach feel sick,
Churn.
we had
Churn.
we had an Alfie storyline as well.
Oh, hooray! Well, we have to somehow. They're paying him to be in for a couple of weeks, so they need to get their money's worth.
That's quite right. So yeah, Alfie's still back, still being selfish.
I mean, it's turning into like he's still not showing any kind of redemption
No,
of.
he's just stealing things.
Yeah,
everywhere.
He's constantly stealing things and putting it in the Slater house. He's buying things and getting money for these things suspiciously.
And
And
at least we didn't have too much of his ringtone this week, so that's one plus point.
I think he only got one phone call.
Yeah, so that's good.
So they've toned it down a little bit.
Thank God.
But it's lucky, he's lucky he did go to the cafe because he had quite a fruitful trip on Monday to the cafe. Not only did he get the coffee machine after he...
It was like the old days when people said, "Oh, can you just work here for 5 minutes? I need to pop off."
They had to stand behind the... Well, Tina needed the toilet.
Yeah.
And he had gone off somewhere. And the coffee machine had been signed for by Alfie, but there was no trace or tracking number for it, so there was no evidence to prove that it had been delivered to Ian.
I
So
know.
that was a freebie for Alfie.
Yeah, he just
courtesy
took
of Ian.
like a shop
Standard coffee
yeah.
machine.
So it's not like a home coffee machine, is it?
When I did think that, but it's actually no one knew how to use it in the Slater house. But it wasn't a proper professional one you see in, say, like a bigger coffee brand shop. It was very much a smaller one, but not small enough. It's like one of those that use the pods. So it's like the in between. So you need a coffee grinder and you need a filtration system, and you probably have to hook it up to some kind of water source. But to Alfie, this was like, look what I've got, this brand new coffee machine. So this is the second thing he's stolen from Ian Bill.
I know, he's an awful friend because Ian was letting him stay there before.
Yeah. So he's stolen him his TV, which he had wired up and everything, and now he's given away.
But he stole then the Slater TV to then give to Ian.
Yes, but who wired it up? That's
true.
the question. And now he's got the coffee machine that, again, he has no experience or expertise of how to fix it or get it all set up, and he just stole it. Whims,
And
always
the
on a
fact
whim.
that he's installed a fireplace, like of all things that they don't need in the house,
at
a
9
fireplace.
at 9 o'clock at night. All right, mate. I've brought the fireplace.
It was installed
okay.
really quickly as well. Like all of a sudden there was a fireplace.
No, they had to knock through a wall in order to place this fireplace.
It's really weird. Why has he bought a fireplace?
Because he wants the house to be a traditional Christmas Slater values.
What, and that means a fireplace?
Well, I guess so. I suppose that is Christmas. I mean, the first place he could be going...
Everyone in the Slaters hates fire. Cat got burnt.
No, that's true.
Tommy got burnt. Big Mo was trapped in a fire with Trevor.
No, Little Mo.
Little Mo, sorry,
Little
yeah.
Mo was trapped in a fire with Trevor. So yeah, fire doesn't associate well with
I
the
don't
Slaters.
think it's a good present for
I mean,
anyone.
I mean, Alfie did have a good idea of trying to make it a bit more of a Christmas spirit by getting decorations, but he handed out the job to the wrong person.
Yes.
I mean, Big Mo
put herself forward because money gets put into her hands.
just deposited into her hand, and with what was 40, 50 pounds, she got one piece of tinsel that hangs over the kitchen
and the rest
door.
was like just cut out of paper, basically. that she'd been busy doing.
Paper chains and with a Pritt stick.
And Alfie obviously knows there's a bit of tension in the house, so he's sort of dishing out jobs for everyone to do. To like, if they do one bit of cleaning, one person every day, then it all should be done.
Yeah, but this is another thing Alfie has done. He's kind of bulldozed his presence into the house and basically told everyone that, hello, I'm here now. I'm going to sort out this household.
I'm the man.
Almost. And he's telling everyone what to do. And it's really like, why? Why do you feel like that you have this aura around you, that you now have this Because he used to, I suppose, when he used to go into a building or work in a place, it'd be like, "Hey, Alfie!" And he was able to command a room. And now he doesn't have that. But he still thinks he has it, so he can just go into the Slater house and just kind of push people around and tell them what to do. And he's also using money in order to get some kind of appealable features.
But I thought he had no money, but he seems to be...
Well, he's obviously still busking with his kids. His kids have gone missing as well. But again, his kids are in Wolford. Are they being enrolled to a school? Because they're certainly not at the Slater house. So are they out playing with traffic? What's happening? There's no kind of coherence.
Maybe
with
Big
this story.
Mo's homeschooling.
Big Mo would be a
Big
good...
Mo's homeschool. In the living room.
She could do online learning.
Now featuring a real fireplace.
Yes, yeah. She could sit in front of the fireplace with her webcam and be like, "Right, kids, what's 2 times 2?"
We also had like a great idea from Ian, because Alfie was complaining about there's not much room in the Slater house.
No.
Funny that, seeing as he just brought 4 new people into there. So Ian says, "Oh, do what I did with Bobby in the loft."
Yeah. Do a skybox. Have a...
Like Hey Arnold's bedroom.
Yes. Oh.
That's what it always reminds me of, Bobby's room. Don't know why.
I always think it looks like they've superimposed the roof. Whenever they used to show Bobby's room. So you'd see a shot and it's like it stops where
Like
the walls
a starry night above it.
Yeah. But this new conversion is a one-man job. And that one man
Just ridiculous.
is Alfie. And he believes he's going to be able to do it based on... right. His blueprints... Right, which he hasn't submitted to the council.
You've not done anything.
But his blueprints is a shoebox with toilet rolls as beds. So is he
Bunk
going to...
beds. I noticed bunk beds there with 2 toilet rolls.
Thinking ahead, you see, because he's expanding the family with Cat. So is he going to go to like the local Wolford Council office? See Denise is like, "Oh, Denise, where's the planning application? Oh, just down the corridor. Oh, okay then." With a shoebox and 3 toilet rolls rolling
I don't think
around.
he's going to do anything. I mean, we know that they don't own the house.
No, they're renting.
And we're under impression that Janine still owns it, because we've not been told otherwise.
Yes. So again, does he have permission from the landlady to fit out this new attic conversion?
And he's going to do it in like a day. He's like, "Oh yeah, easy job. I'll start tomorrow and get it done." It's like, it takes months.
Well, we should know.
If you're doing it on the cheap, it takes years.
It does take years. If you ask your dad to do it, it takes about 18 months.
So yeah, it's a bit of an... I'm assuming that they had this story planned, but Shane Ritchie wasn't available like earlier, so they've had to like rush this in. Because if he was in it like 2 months ago, he could have done it properly.
Well, it would take the reasonable amount of time to actually have a conversion.
Seems a bit rushed, like, "Oh, we need this accident to be ready for Christmas Day." So
maybe the Slater household really does live in its own little time wormhole, because Kat thought she was going to pass her license within a year. Alfie's now building a loft conversion in a day. You know, with as I said, with the plans.
Hayley's baby has like aged like 6 months.
And with her little tuft of hair at the back of her head.
That was a bit weird. I didn't like.
I mean, she did have blonde hair on the top of the head, but at the back of the head, it was like waiting for like a proper little chavvy kind of ponytail to grow, and the rest of her head just to be like a fringe.
Hayley should put a JoJo bow in it.
Oh, she should. Jojo Bow should endorse EastEnders. Can you imagine? Sponsored by Jojo Bow.
Yeah, I mean, he convinced Martin to swap bedrooms as well with him and Kat for some reason.
So is that... You suggested perhaps this is a plot point?
I hope it is leading to something. I'm assuming that he's just going to do a rubbish job on the loft extension, and Christmas Day is going to end in someone falling through the roof or something.
Yes, or the
falling
loft conversion falling onto someone.
Yeah.
So with the bedrooms being swapped
But we don't really know where everyone is anyway, really.
I mean, we have a better impression of where things are. I mean,
we know Hayley's straight on.
Straight at the top of the stairs. And then the
bathroom's next to her.
No, the bathroom is 2 doors down.
Oh, is
it?
So
there's another room. And so Hayley's room must be quite thin, long and thin. Because didn't Hayley's room used to be...
Jean's.
Oh, did that used to be Jean's room?
I think so.
No, didn't it used to be... I want to say Rebecca's room, but I suppose the houses are the same. Did Rebecca... Yeah, Rebecca used to live there.
Yeah, at some point. But Bex wouldn't have that pink room. That's
it's been redecorated by Hayley. Baby pink for the baby.
Chavvy pink for Hayley. So yeah, we're assuming some sort of accident's going to happen because Alfie has obviously done this on the cheap. Is the fireplace going to come into it as well?
What, because he's knocked through a wall, and perhaps a supporting wall? I mean, again, did they have a natural fireplace there?
There must have been one behind it, I guess, and they knocked through and just put the fireplace
they need to
in.
clean out the chimney. There's so many things.
A fire hazard that might smoke out.
That's it. The smoke won't come out the chimney. The smoke will just all come in back into the house. And so not only will the attic's going to collapse, there's going to be smoke inhalation.
Do you think Alfie installed that fireplace because on Christmas Day he wants to dress up as Santa and actually come down the chimney for the kids and something's going to happen?
He'll get stuck.
Big Mo's going to accidentally light it or something.
Have you not seen what chimney looks like? Santa cannot go down a chimney, Ben.
This is
it's a
EastEnders.
fantasy. He's going to get stuck.
That's the type of stupid thing that Alfie would be like, oh yeah, the kids would love that.
Oh,
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, or he'll go up into the chimney and look up and there'll be like a box there. And it'll be like Uncle Charlie had put it there before he died.
His confession about knowing about Cat all along.
I never knew Cat, I promise. Love Charlie. Kiss.
Oh, just silly.
So, the Slater story has gone a bit silly. But there is a serious note there. And that is that Cat and Alfie are now an item again. They're back together, much to Hayley's distress.
Because he did make a stupid comment to her when they're about to go upstairs for some private time.
Yeah, he did. And this was on the back of him saying, because he asked Stuart, we should say at the beginning of the week, to help him with the attic conversion. And then Stuart made a comment about Cat being a bit loose and easy. And Alfie was like, well, I don't think I need your help now. So don't worry about it. And then made the exact same comment. Alfie made the same comment to Cat the next day. He's like, oh, one of us hasn't had sex in these past few months. Paraphrasing.
It was You're like, at the beginning I thought, oh, you seen through Stuart, good for you. But then I thought, actually,
you're just as bad as Stuart.
You're just as much of an idiot. But they did reconnect and spend the night together. So we heard over breakfast the next day. Yes,
well, Kat said she didn't want any more secrets between her and Alfie. And Jean, obviously, her ears were burning.
Jean's very stressed, isn't she?
I mean, Jean's got a lot of stories. A lot of stories, yeah. She's got a lot on her plate at the moment. She has at least 3. I mean, they can't give Kathy a story, and they give Jean 3.
I know. Where is Kathy still away?
Well, in Portugal.
Do you think she's just going to come back with like 10 bills? It's like, there you go. We built the bills now. They've all come back with me from
One
Portugal.
of them's new. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it, that she's just kind of gone without explanation. I'm presuming she's visiting a family member then. She has to come back and be like,
maybe she's visiting her brother or something.
Peggy?
Although I'm sure he lives in New Zealand.
I just said Peggy. That's a stupid thing to say. Peggy's died.
Maybe she's visiting Debbie.
She could be visiting Debbie. But let's think, old past characters. Because maybe that's who she's going to bring back.
What, Debbie?
No, but we know 2 characters that are returning.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Kathy's gone to see Punk
Mary.
I've got a tan. I didn't have money.
I need the euros.
I need the euros.
I'm stripping with Sam Mitchell.
That's a good plan. And who's the other one coming back as well?
Lofty.
Lovely,
gentle Lofty.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
I mean, we'll talk about Classic EastEnders a bit later, but sorry, spoiler. But yeah, so exciting. But so that's Kathy, and that's Kathy's done with. Finished.
It's our weekly mention of Kathy because we're campaigning for her to
Camp Kathy. We're Team Kathy.
Abby's on the back burner now. Don't bring her up anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's Kathy all the way.
It's almost been a year. We can't keep going on about Abby. Plus, it's baby Abby now. She can take over the legacy. Yeah. So Hayley's very upset that Kat and Alfie have got back together again, and so upset and distraught that she phones her mum.
It's just the same old thing with Hayley every week.
I know.
Something ridiculous happens. So she phones her mum. Her mum's horrible to her. She then says, I'm going to move out, and or gives the baby up. This week, she just gave the baby back to the Ahmeds.
Yeah, again, so she knocked on... She didn't leave it there, though,
no,
did she?
She did say, and the Ahmeds said, you don't want to do this. Yes, I do. And I'm assuming she's going to say she's moving out next week, and then Friday she'll move back in again. Because
we know that they did an extended Christmas trailer on the end of Friday's episode, and we know that Hayley is involved this Christmas. So we know that much for sure.
So yeah, they just keep making Hayley do the same 3 actions for the past few weeks, just waiting for Christmas Day.
Yes,
basically.
It's just a cycle. Beginning of the week she's happy, at the end of the week she's upset, and then it cycles back around again.
But we haven't mentioned as well, speaking about awful Alfie, is how he shoehorned the name Cherry.
Yes, that is true. So Hayley said that he's...
The man that, 9 months ago was paying for the abortion.
Yeah, now wants to be a part of the baby's life. And as you said, insisted that he got to choose the first name as Cherry. But it's not Cherry Moon.
It's a Slater, not a Moon.
Exactly, it's a Slater. So Hayley got to choose the surname, so he gets to choose the first name.
And there's also alarm bells for Kat because she was like, "That's your mum's name."
Yeah.
So it wasn't very clever of Alfie if he was trying to keep the secret, but
But no, didn't he just say he wanted to keep a memory of her?
Yeah, something like that.
But it's exactly. Immediately you think, well, why with Hayley's baby?
Yeah.
What's so special about her?
Yeah, we keep getting hints that maybe Kat knows but isn't saying anything, or she has hints that something's not right. But
because a lot of times whenever anything happens, you can see in Kat's face that she's aware of something, but it never really comes about.
Well, we know it all goes on Christmas Day because she's got a lead pipe in her hands.
Yes, Kat Slater in the square.
Did she take that from the building site, did she?
What,
First thing that came to hand. Some lead pipe.
Alfie Moon with the...
a bit of a ladder.
Uses one of those... Maybe she appears...
Some asbestos foam.
Yeah, I'm going to throw asbestos at you. Maybe she shoots down the slide. You remember they have those slides on building sites? Where
they put the rubble?
Yeah, maybe Kat's going to slide down. I see you, Hayley. Because she did try to chuck something at Hayley, didn't she, that time? Come on, then! When she was at the window. And she was going to chuck that cocktail of red wine.
Ribena over her and stuff, yeah.
So maybe that's her plan.
Gosh.
She's going to drop a pole directly onto her head from above.
Do you remember when we first ever saw Hayley? She was there taking photos of Martin. And it was really weird.
Yeah, she was there to spy on Martin.
Yeah, but she was taking photos. And it was really like, what? Like thinking about Hayley now, she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, true.
It's really weird.
She wouldn't be, yeah. I mean, she's very naive, Hayley, and she's obviously very insecure, but at the same time she's got a backbone, so yeah, she wouldn't, would she wouldn't.
No, it's weird.
But then you saw the fiery side of her when Kat first came back as well.
That's true. And on the podcast.
Yeah.
So next up we are going to talk about Tiffany's sort of mini storyline this week. She was babysitting Lily.
Yes.
At a very bad time.
Very bad. Yeah, so she promised to pick up Lily from the school, but Evie changed the plans and had decided that she's going to do the drug drop in after school rather than during school.
Yes.
Because
even though she made Tiff bunk off school.
Everything's planned around school, term time. So when Christmas holidays kick in, Tiff's going to have a lot of work coming on her way.
Overtime.
Yeah, exactly. Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. She can get some nice sweeties for Lily.
And nice dresses for herself.
So yeah, she's looking after Lily, so she's going to have to... She takes her with her to collect these drugs. And Evie's obviously said to the person, it's the girl in the gold puffer jacket. Because no one else would wear one of them. So that's a good... You would have said it would the redhead.
I was going to say, there surely is more descriptive. I mean, yeah, the redhead girl who looks like a teenager, not the girl...
In the school uniform who wears, like, jeans with loads of cuts in them.
Torn down and ties her shirt up, so it's just covering the top half of her.
But, Lily's starting young.
She is.
So, basically... The drug guy just gave them to this little girl.
Well, he said, "Are you Tiff?" And Lily just went, "Yeah, all right, why not? I'll be Tiff."
Yeah, I want some attention. My mum's ignored me for 8 years.
Oh, come on. I think Lily's the most loved and looked after child by Stacey.
Oh, yeah, actually,
the rest
out of
them
everyone on the square, probably the most looked after so far.
And she's in a lot of... She's been built up to be a...
They've changed her as well. She hasn't got a fringe anymore.
No.
Her Claudia Winkleman fringe.
No.
And they don't put all that pale makeup on her anymore either.
I was just after they did that scene, didn't they? When Martin said that she was very pale, and so they put the fake tan on her face.
So yeah, this is when Tiff finds out because she thinks the drugs have gone missing.
Yeah, is it Jag? No, Sticks.
Sticks. Yeah, he's back on the scene.
Yeah, he is. And he phones Tiff and says, "You've got the drugs ready? I'm going to come and get them." And Tiff's like, "Yeah, of course I have. Ha ha ha, see you in a bit." And then realises that she doesn't have them in her bag, and so asks Bernie for help. And level-minded Bernie... See, Bernie would be the best drug pusher, really, if you think about it, because she's level-minded, she's calm. Yeah, but she's calm under pressure. Doesn't get...
I don't know, she gets quite panicked quite easy, Bernie does.
Yeah, but she's not like a magpie. She doesn't get like... distracted by flash things or shiny objects like Tiff does, or the
being popular.
Yeah, being popular. Bernie just wants to do it for the for the money,
for the hugs and kisses,
and the chess tournament. She needs to build up her money for chess tournaments. She's got a big one coming up in Edinburgh.
Yeah, apparently.
I mean, can I just quickly go back to these chess tournaments? Because about a month ago, she was showing off that she had won like numerous chess tournaments.
About 5 or 6 medals she had.
Like nothing. What's happening with this?
Ted's on holiday, so it's on hold.
What with Kathy? What's Ted doing? I mean,
Ted's with his daughter. That last time we saw her, she wanted to send him to an old person's home.
So he's not with his son.
So I'm
in
assuming
Australia.
I'm assuming he's spending time over Christmas. I don't know when he's going to be back. Do you think he's just not going to come back?
I've got a feeling that we're just going to one day have, Mr. Murray sent me a letter. He likes it so much where he is. He's not coming back again.
Well, that's what I said on my If I Was Executive Producer predictions. So
What, bunk him out?
no, that's exactly what it was. Bernie gets a letter to say he's gone.
Oh, right.
So, my prediction.
I mean, how are we getting on with these predictions that we made on the extra
Not very
episode?
well. Maybe he comes back and the gang is still like in the house and they kill him or something.
Wow.
Make Evie evil, wouldn't it? Or kidnap him.
Eviler Evie.
Maybe something like that. But I think the chess things,
So that's a line drawn under
I think
that.
that's it, yeah.
I mean,
That was a summer story.
they could have at least had a win the big chess tournament, like a national or something. And then,
Well, the end of it was when they thought Mr. Murray was dead and she left the chess tournament.
What, when he left that creepy message on the mobile phone?
Yeah.
Mr. Murray, quick, hurry!
So that was the last of the chess tournament, so of what we know.
I like to have a nice...
Maybe it will link into the drug storyline somehow. Maybe.
Well, all the pieces of this chess set have got powdered... she's trying to smuggle it abroad.
Don't know.
So Tiff works out where the drugs are.
She does. She knows that Lily has them. Luckily, Lily hasn't eaten any because she said no sweets until the morning.
Yes, so lucky that Lily listens to her mother.
Mm.
I mean, if you looked at the bag of drugs, they did look like someone just...
Pick and mix.
Yeah, they really
drugs.
did. They look like Dolly mixtures and Smarties.
I'm hoping that Lily hasn't kept some thinking they're sweets for Christmas or something.
That's the only thing I thought. But then on Friday, Tiff gives Lily a roll
Actual
of sweets. Yeah. And
it
then
says shush.
well, she presses her fingers to her mouth and says, "This is our little secret." So to keep her quiet. I mean, Tiff is showing signs of becoming like the next Dawn, isn't she? Like she's manipulated. Okay, she's manipulated an 8-year-old girl, but she's manipulated Lily to keep quiet. And she's kept Bernie on side too, because Bernie's been a bit vocal about the fact that you can't go around kissing everyone. You just can't go around kissing everyone.
I don't like this angle that they're going with, this like weird like sexuality thing. Like, I don't think it's needed in this storyline. Like how Evie keeps kissing Tiff in front of Bernie in the toilets, and then like her and Tiff were talking, trying to become friends again in the shed, in Ted's shed.
Yeah, and then she kisses Bernie.
Yeah, and it's like, what? I just don't think it's really needed in this story.
She kind of writes it off as to say, like, I always kiss my friends.
Yeah, but there's like really sexual kissing.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, they're really, I don't know. I just don't think it's needed with the Tiff drug story.
I mean, they did the story where we were learning that Bernie could be gay, and Tiff pretty much didn't show any signs of being fluid or kind of bisexual. I mean. So it's weird that she's now... So this must be a tactic that she's using. Again, she's
learnt from Evie
that she's using on Bernie to keep Bernie on side.
Yeah,
but
I just don't think it's needed at the same time as this drug. I don't know.
But we always come back to, why is Bernie so badly needed to be kept on side? It's a strange one.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with the relationship side of it.
Yeah.
It's almost like two very separate storylines which shouldn't be mixed together, but they are.
Yeah, because you shouldn't really mess around with sexuality as a storyline. You shouldn't kind of make it something that... Because it's hard enough for Bernie, if that's something she's struggling with. And to make it then... Because then that kind of makes her character feel like it's wrong to feel that way even more, because of the way that Tiff and Evie are manipulating her in such a... Using that as a manipulation tool.
I'd rather just have the drug side of the storyline and them just fight off being friends.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's really needed. I don't know. Not quite sure on it.
No, nor am I, Ben. We just have to, as you like to say, wait and see.
We will. Who knows?
Who knows?
One thing I do know is that next we have our 5th part of our ongoing series, looking back at Julia's legacy.
So we're back again for another look at Julia's theme as it's been played out throughout the years of EastEnders history. Yes, it's the section called Julia's Legacy, and we're on part 5. We've not even scratched the surface just yet. We're doing 2002 until 2003. So
we're getting there.
We're getting there. There's 5 stories this week.
Yes, there is.
We've both been saying how they've been quite lackluster, really. Quite almost like 1985.
Not much heart between them.
No, when they've kind of just used it for the like, oh, hang on, we haven't used it for a while. Let's quickly shoehorn one in.
Yeah,
somewhere.
there's a few good ones, a few not so great ones.
Yeah.
So the first one we'll be starting on is the 6th of May 2002. Sonia Jackson gets one. Oh my God.
I don't believe it. This would be her first one as well,
It
wouldn't it?
will. First and probably last. Until she leaves next time. But yeah, it's Sonia and Jamie decide to end their relationship.
Yeah, so Sonia and Jamie, as we know, had a bit of a rocky road throughout their relationship. This is another blip in their love life.
I mean, it's her 17th birthday.
Yes.
They're going all out with the Vic for her 17th.
Yeah, for the 17th. Dot makes a point of saying how the 17th is a special day, a special birthday, where to me, 18th is the special birthday.
It's really weird. She says nowadays 17th is really special, but it's like, is it, Dot? I don't think anyone ever thought the 17th was special.
No, it's almost like it's the boring one, isn't it, between the 16th and the 18th birthday?
Really odd. But Dot is getting drunk. She's having quite a few sherries.
Dot's having a merry old time, and Jim is showing some of his old colours again. He's beginning to show his angry self which his sons Jack and Max claim all the time, the way he was when they were kids.
Yeah, because he mentions about Sonia being a difficult woman to settle down with because she's already had a kid, so who would want her? And he says quite horrible things like that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he mentions in a snide way that she's obviously just given up her child, which is the last thing Sonia needs to hear. And also the fact that she had then became pregnant with Jay. Unfortunately, they had lost the baby. So Jim almost insinuated that Sonia was a bit of a used goods.
Yeah,
and so wasn't
not good enough.
Yeah, wasn't good enough to be, with or married to. Sonia,
well, screw you, Jim, because she caught the Leonardo DiCaprio of Wolford. So
she did.
Jamie has bought Sonia a car as well.
A yellow car. It looks like one of the props from Only Fools and Horses, like his three-wheeler van.
And they seem to be quite happy to begin with on the episode, but obviously leading up to the end where the Julius theme kicks in, they have quite a long discussion in the car together after Jim has upset Sonia and she's stormed out of the Vic on her birthday. Birthday ruined. Yeah,
and Jay's a bit upset, and he basically says that there's never an evening or a time they spend together where Sonia's not spoiling it. So nothing new there, Sonia, really.
Yeah, lots of sort of mixed emotions going through. They're sort of, it's quite a nice breakup. They sort of,
it's amicable.
During the chat, they sort of decide, actually, maybe we're better off just not being together.
We're a bit dangerous being together. But Sonia says that we still love one another. I think Sonia also feels like, especially after Jim's rant in the pub, she feels like she is that damaged goods, and she feels like that Jay's only with her.
It sort of put doubt in her mind, didn't it?
And that he's with her because he feels a bit sorry for her, and so he's doing all this. She says to him, "You would never have asked me to marry you if I hadn't caught you kissing another woman, and you would never have organised this birthday party if you knew that it wouldn't have made me, you're trying to make me happy." And it's a bit sad, really, that Sonia she still feels like that no one really,
she's not good enough for anyone.
Yeah, she's not. And again, without sounding too harsh, it's something that seems to have continued down Sonia's timeline to present day.
Yeah, it is. She's quite a tragic girl, isn't she?
She's always trying to cling on to someone. Most recently, obviously, Martin, and she just never seems to get it right. And but this one man who does love her, Jamie, and he's not pushing her away. He's actually doing anything because he wants to be with her, and she can't. She can't accept it.
What do you make of the symbolic message of her leaving the keys in the car when she breaks up with him?
What, like leaving her heart behind? It was noted.
Over the Julius theme,
yeah. She walks away from the car.
She gave everything up and went to her house. She took a long time getting around the car as well to get up the stairs.
I think she had a bit too much to drink. Illegally as well. Yeah. She's only 17.
She was on it.
She was popping out corks left, right and centre.
But it was nice. It was a nice scene between them both.
It was a nice
younger
scene.
Characters, which you don't really see much anymore.
Well, you were saying as we were watching it, you said, like, can you imagine this scene with Keegan and Louise?
Yeah, it just wouldn't happen.
It just wouldn't. Yeah,
for some reason. But
Jack Ryder and Natalie Cassidy still are good actors, and they portrayed the relationship between them very well. And it was fitting to have Julia's theme as an ending to this breakup.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame they don't use Julia's theme for Jamie's death, I think. But You know, can't win them all.
I thought that, but that was an intensely sad death.
So next up, we have the 21st of June, 2002. And this is Anthony Truman proposing to Zoe Slater.
Now, this surprised me. Can
you remember this happened?
No. Until we watched the episode. Until we watched the episode, I forgot that Goldie was in EastEnders.
I know. It's really odd.
I mean,
normally Julia's themes are used for like big momentous storylines you're meant to remember like years down the line. But this one, it was sort of like they proposed to each other, but then it flitters out and nothing really comes of it. So I don't know why it got Julia's theme.
Obviously after the episode's betrayed, it just becomes almost as if it never happened. Almost like a storyline from 2017.
Yes, quite. But yeah, I mean, he sort of thinks, I'm going to ask Zoe to marry me because they've just gone through this like traumatic event together.
They have.
With Goldie. With Angel.
Angel, yeah. So Goldie plays a character called Angel, who's a bit of a mobster on the square. Because this was the era where you couldn't have an episode where there wasn't some mobster somewhere on the square. And don't get me wrong, Goldie's a great guy. I've seen him on like panel shows and this and that, but he can't quite cut it acting.
No. And also mention, he plays chess with Patrick.
Yes. So why did Patrick never help with the whole big chess storyline of 2017/18?
I don't know. He was well away. He was doing checkmate. So
he was moving pieces when he thought his back was
turned. He did
turned.
play with Ted, but he never played with Bernie. So.
No.
Kept himself to himself.
Although didn't he put a bet on Bernie to win? And this was when Ted got a bit upset. I don't remember. It's something that
blocked out my mind.
Yeah.
All I remember is that Goldie and Patrick were having a chess game while he was being kidnapped.
Yeah, yes. So he was being held as almost protection for Angel while they look for Angel's wife because Angel's
precious.
Whose mother is Claudette, but not Claudette.
Yes, played by Claudette.
Well, the actress who plays Claudette plays someone's mother. So maybe she has a twin out there. That'd be a good story, wouldn't it?
I mean, this is John York was in charge here, and it's quite similar. Like Paul's ending is quite similar to Vincent's ending, so it's a bit.
That's true.
It's a bit of repeating history again.
Yeah, I've never put a link to it there, but yes, that's very true.
Goldie ends up kidnapping Zoe as well with Patrick because she comes over to look for Anthony.
Yes.
And this is where the traumatization starts, and that's why once everything is sorted, because Precious turns up.
She does, even though she says
just in time
going to run away, and Paul even says you should go. I'll sort out this end, and then get a beating.
And so like Zoe like breaks up with Anthony, like in the hallway, and then he's like, maybe I'll ask you to marry me then.
Well, no, Paul comes out, so Paul hears them having this Barney in the hallway, and Zoe's like, I don't want to get involved with trouble. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
And Paul says, so are you going to tell her then or not?
Yeah, it's your only chance.
And I don't know if Anthony knew what he was getting on about, whether this had been discussed between them two. Obviously,
must have been.
Yeah, maybe.
But Zoe soon changed her mind.
Yeah.
She's like, a ring? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, marriage? Yeah, why not? Why not?
And then, Julie's theme. So it's a bit...
I mean, we know that Zoe is quite easily influenced. She got influenced by Dirty Den. She got influenced by Harry, Kat's uncle. And, we know that all it takes is a little bit of money or a little bit of extravagance, and Zoe's there. Like a roadrunner, just kind of go, and she's there, ready to go.
But yeah, one of my least favourite Julia themes because it doesn't really, not really built up to much.
No, it didn't
sort of comes out of nowhere and then doesn't go on to anything afterwards either.
It's almost forgotten because then she leaves and then comes back and he calls it off. Yeah. He calls it off and restarts his relationship with Kat. So yeah, it's a really odd use of the theme.
It is odd. Very strange. So next up, we are on the 16th of August 2002. And lovely little Mo's been released from prison.
Yes, after a crime where really she should never have been arrested.
No. Again, similar to the Arthur Julia theme when he came back and was welcomed home with open arms from prison. Little Mo is. So she was in prison for attempted murder of Trevor.
Yeah, so she was actually fighting back from Trevor because there's that famous scene when she hits him with the iron. Now,
more than once though.
It was exactly. So you could argue that she had intent there, because instead of whacking him once and he was knocked on the ground and he showed no threat, she then continued to pummel him.
Well, the first one that she did was for her, but then all the two other hits was for the audience.
Absolutely.
Because we were all willing her on when that happened. But yeah, sadly she was put in jail, but she's released. And she's welcomed back to the square.
With open arms. But unfortunately, when she is back on the square, her torment's not really over yet because Trevor had to make a deal with the Slaters in order for her return from prison, because he promised not to be a witness to his own murder if Kat promises to not to do a testimonial against him.
Because he also attacked Kat as well. So yeah, dodgy dealings there. And obviously we know how the Trevor storyline ends with big fire.
And another death for Sharon. She is the kiss of death, isn't she?
I know.
This time Tom, the Irish... Is it Irish fireman?
Yeah, I think so. Irish or Scottish.
Because they start flirting.
Sure.
They're all the same.
But,
they start flirting in the episode we all just discussed, the very first one.
The Sonia one.
Because Sam Mitchell wants a bit of Tom too.
Yes, but he's only interested in Shatter.
Oh, well, of course. She is the queen of the square. And at this point, she's got a nice little bob.
Oh, it's horrible. It's that awkward length, in between length, where it curls up at the ends on her shoulders.
Now she's got nice long extensions. Is it real hair or horsehair? We'll never know.
We won't.
But yeah, so again, Sharon loses her husband in the fire, but for a short spell of time, everyone is happy and excited on the square that Mo has returned, and looking up and hoping that she might be able to get rid of Trevor once and for all. But as we know, there's more to the story than meets the eye.
Yeah, lovely little Mo. So we always welcome little Mo. She's a sweet character.
I'd welcome her back.
So next up is the 14th of February 2003, and this is saying goodbye to quite the legacy character, an original character, recast of course, but it is where Pauline Fowler and Martin walk home after Mark Fowler decides to leave Walford to travel the world before he dies.
Yes, so this was basically his exit. This was when he was off screen permanently.
Yeah, it's another chip on Pauline's character of losing one of her family members, which every time that happens, it seems to break her character a bit each time.
Make her more angry,
more lonely and more bitter at life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suppose. But
she doesn't want him to go, and so she refuses to see him off initially, because Mark's having this big party in the Vic, and everyone's celebrating his life, and he rightly doesn't want to leave. He doesn't want to stay for people to see him, not the Mark that you remember. I remember when I watched EastEnders at the time, thinking not much of Todd Carty, but having watched scenes recently of his Mark, I actually
he's very
quite
sweet.
enjoy it.
Yeah, him and Wendy Richards had a real close friendship off screen, which obviously translated really well on screen as well.
Well, he gave her Lifetime Achievement Award at the British Soap Awards.
Yes, and she said, every time Todd walks into a room, he makes me cry. So yeah, they were very close. But Pauline was quite bitter, so she wasn't going to say goodbye to Mark. She'd rather just block it out.
Rather just sit in her house on her own.
Turn into Lou Bill here.
Yes.
Slowly. But I think it's Sharon who takes the keys from Mark's bike, and then tries to convince Pauline she'll won't forgive herself if she doesn't say goodbye.
Well, she doesn't convince Pauline. I think she does try to talk to Pauline, but Pauline dismisses her. And then at the party, Mark is about to leave, and Sharon, with her sexy legs, stands in front of his bike, pulls out the keys, and she's, "What are you doing, Sharon?" And she says, "You can't leave this way. You have to make amends with your mum. You can't. You know it just won't be right." And Mark's like, "Oh, Sharon, you're always right." So off he goes back to the famous Bill house, or the Fowler house, I should say.
Yeah.
And there's a wonderful scene where he says, "I know this isn't how you want to say goodbye, but this is the right way to say goodbye.
And this is how I want you to remember me."
Yeah.
So it's very fitting. And I mean, watching like the classic episodes recently, you can really see how Pauline is taken her mum's like family values. Like she wanted him to come back to the house to see her. She wasn't going to go out of the house to see him goodbye. So
I think Pauline's always been a bit jealous of how Lou had it, because she was always looking after Lou, but she always appreciated Lou, and she's I think Pauline never got that. She never got looked after, and she always felt like she was never appreciated either.
No.
So I think Pauline felt like she deserved that, but was never given it. And to be fair to her, she always took up to her family, so I wouldn't say it was necessarily her fault. She just got dealt a really bad hand. But the Julia's theme was played not when Mark leaves, but when Martin cuddles his mum and says, "Come on, let's go home."
Yeah, because everyone else goes back to the Vic, and they just walk home together with her last remaining kid on the square.
And Martin, who obviously we know she is very precious over for the entirety of her time on screen. Yes,
hands off.
Bloomin' X on, yeah.
So the last one we're talking about now is the 14th of November 2003, And this is where Alfie Moon interrupts the wedding of Andy and Kat, declares his love for Kat, and they decide to jilt Andy at the wedding and go off together.
Yeah, so Andy again is the big mobster of the square.
Yeah, still in the mob territory. It's coming to an end now. Once, like, I think Johnny Allen's storyline is like the last of the mob's ongoing storylines, which were increasingly unpopular as time went on.
Exactly. When it began, it was a niche and it was quite exciting, but obviously they overplayed it and it became a bit of a tiring storyline to keep doing it, because it was always one in, one out, and just carried on and on and on. I mean, you could basically say, if you've ever seen the film The Graduate, the very last scene of that is basically a reenactment by Shane Ritchie.
Because Ian and him are trying to get there quickly in like an ice cream van, I think it is, or some sort of food van that Ian has.
Deals on Wheels.
Yeah. I remember watching this when it was broadcast, and I remember it annoyed me then. Like the slapstick. It was like half slapstick getting to the altar, and there's like bodyguards outside, and Alfie like cheekily works his way into the church and stuff.
Well, I really hate the bit when he gets pulled in behind a door, and you can tell he's just gone to a studio and just gone, get off me! Don't do that! Why are you touching me? Get off me! And it just sounds like a cartoon. It sounds like Adam West's Batman. It's like really bad. I mean, a scene that should be quite dramatic and like powerful kind of loses its touch.
Yeah, it's Alfie, isn't it? It's
got to be a bit
slapstick, cheeky chappy. But he stands up there and declares his love for Kat, and she asks Andy, let me just go speak to him. What harm? I'll get rid of him. What harm can it do? And obviously, Kat and Alfie's bond is too strong.
Yes, Andy still thinks he's won at this point and thinks he's good enough to keep Kat on his side, but sadly not.
Yes.
I mean, this is the beginning of the kind of a very dark storyline when Andy torments Kat and Alfie for a very long time. And essentially, doesn't he get Kat to sleep with him one last time as a deal to leave them alone? Or was that before? I forget in what order that happens. But no,
I can't remember Andy's tenure. He was not very popular, was he?
I didn't mind Andy.
He was soon bumped off.
He was over a bridge. Was he say a happy landing or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, he gets pushed off by Johnny Allen over the bridge.
But yeah, I mean, that's a Julius theme because Kat and Alfie one true love for each other.
I mean, this was the time when we still liked Kat and Alfie.
Yeah, so when his cheeky chappy wasn't quite as jarring.
Yeah. And also he wasn't as damaged as a character. Like all the character damaging traits started around
from the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Fake insurance. But that gets us halfway through the noughties.
Well, hey, we're not doing too bad.
We're getting there. So we've got quite a few to go through next time, and some quite exciting ones. I see Pat's name popped up, so that's always fun. And a Janine.
Oh my goodness, the butchers are in force.
So yeah, part 6, where it at?
Yeah, it's on its way. Don't forget, if there's any memories that you guys have which had Julia's themes, tweet us at EastEnders Week. You can find us on Instagram, EastEnders Weekly Podcast. Facebook, just search EastEnders Weekly Podcast. Or you can email us, eastendersweekly@gmail.com. And that was Julia's Legacy.
Right, well, from old epic episodes such as Sonia's 17th birthday and Zoe being proposed to, onto another epic episode that will go down in history of a two-hander.
Yes, first in a while as well. They haven't had an
the
episode
last
like that.
two-hander was the rubbish one with Phil and Jay, which no one liked. And then it all got rewritten at the end of it anyway.
I was about to say, is that the one when Phil revealed that
Jay's dad isn't his dad and then is his dad because Max told him. For unknown reasons. So yeah, this was a much better two-hander. I mean, there's been quite a few like special episodes this year. They keep doing like Shaquille's funeral was a special episode, and the day after Ruby's rape was a special episode, and
also,
the consent episode,
yes.
and then obviously now we have a two-hander. So there's been quite a few like experimental episodes this year, which is very Emmerdale.
Is it?
Yeah, very Emmerdale 2017. So that's fun, but I mean it was a real good two-hander because we were a little bit worried because we recently watched the Den and Angie two-hander, which was so epic, and it was in the Vic, and it was just a couple, so it had similarities, but it was good. It was it's all been leading up to this.
It really has. And the build up to the Thursday episode 2 was quite exciting for us to have this, big two-hander. And then the conclusion was satisfying, but at the same time then led to more mischief from Stuart.
Fridays was really good towards the end of the week. But I think they revealed to us, about that Lynn did have a plan. I think they revealed it right at the right time. Because since then, knowing that we've been on the inside with Linda, it's been quite interesting seeing her plot out all of this.
Yes.
With her sexy lingerie.
Yes, from the market stall just down the street, Maggie. If you ever need lingerie,
sexy Maggie.
go see Maggie.
Wonder what Maggie's like. She
dunno.
old? Bet she is.
Do you reckon Maggie is this Cyndi Lauper lookalike?
No, that's the flower girl.
Oh, is that the flower girl? Maggie. Can't imagine a Maggie.
Do you think Pat used to buy her lingerie from there too?
From
Maggie.
Maggie.
Go down to Mags. She'll sort you out for a good night.
I just can't remember seeing. I can't remember seeing. Do you reckon it's more than just a lingerie shop? Do you reckon it's a proper little sex stall?
What, on the market?
Yeah, Maggie's sex stall.
Opposite Shrimpy.
Yeah, it's got love beads and stuff for Slater bathrooms.
Shrimpy goes there and buys all his girlfriend stuff all at once.
Do you reckon
Buy
Shrimpy...
3 for 2.
Well, I think Shrimpy can satisfy a woman all by herself.
He just walks in the room with a hat covering him.
Yeah, he doesn't even hold the hat. He just has the hat there. He's just like, hi, lady. Or ladies, as we've later found
Multiple,
out.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Shrimpy don't need no help from Maggie's sex stall. Shrimpy...
But Linda does, because she needs to convince Stuart.
Well, she's trying to get a man to convince that he has shot himself in the Vic, so it's a bit of a different situation. It's not something that Shrimpy
we got all the
do.
answers to the shooting as well this week, which was nice.
It was brilliant, actually.
I still feel slightly cheated.
Well, even
the whodunit.
Yeah, even when we were watching the episode, you were going, "Oh, if only they had done this," and you even forgot at one point that we already knew that Stuart had shot himself.
I didn't want to think it was that boring. It's quite a boring outcome that he shot himself, I think. After the build-up they did to it,
but it has created quite the story. Let's be honest.
True.
It's if it
Dylan Box has more meaning than we thought.
I mean, they brought Dylan Box back, and when we first met Dylan, all right, yeah. Oh, just had a pie, yeah.
Yeah, I moved the gun, yeah.
Why are you always bullying me? Oh, it's a nice canal, isn't it? I mean, he should have had... Anyway, we'll get to that in a second, but he should have had a clue of what was about to happen to him, or might have happened to him.
Yes.
By the location that Stuart wanted to meet. Same, usual place, half an hour.
Yeah, the dam. Mine was Sideshow Bob episode.
Oh, yes. The one when you see his brother is the one who's the...
They blow up the dam.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some plus points with Stuart this week where we liked him because he showed up Jack, which is always fun.
Do you know what? Stuart can kill anyone at this point.
He can kill a Dylan.
He could literally slaughter a bunny rabbit, and I'd love him forever just because he upstaged Jack this week. He made Jack look like a complete prat.
He was dressed up as Santa, and he was promising Amy and Ricky whatever they wanted.
What,
you get it.
Ping pong table for Ricky, because he's into that kind of stuff.
And a horse for Amy.
Horse for Amy. I mean, for Jack's defence, he did make a good point. That is, where do you keep a horse? But
the allotment.
Yeah.
Ted's allotment.
They should, yeah. Just have this horse eating.
Turn the shed into a stable.
And maybe the horse could eat the vegetables and turn slowly into Joyce. Because he sounds
she makes
the
same noises, doesn't she?
Sounds similar. Not that we're saying that Joyce is a horse.
No, she just makes those funny noises that I used to love. Poor Joyce, rest in peace.
Yeah. So Jack had made a grave mistake of going to the Queen Vic Santa grotto.
Yeah, promised too much. Deliver too little.
Well, we don't know yet. It's not Christmas.
Sounds like Jack. Deliver too little.
Yeah, little being the operative word. Jack.
Mr. Missionary.
Yeah, I
bet
he goes to Maggie's. I bet he needs Maggie's stall. He needs help. I just thought. Do you reckon on Christmas Day that she'll get a horse? Do you reckon that he'll be like, no, I knew you wanted a horse, so I got you one, and he'd actually wrap it.
It's a blonde horse called Ingrid.
Yeah, a unicorn. He'll actually put like a horn on its head. It's a real unicorn.
So this was all building up with Linda and Stuart to the two-hander where she is like slowly seducing him. He obviously wants to take it a bit further now. Not staying on the sofa anymore.
Yes. So, well, he's not.
Wink, wink.
He's not. He's been at his own flat, hasn't he? But he thought he had his feet under the table. But Linda's mask was starting to slip a little bit, and she was beginning to show the strain of having to keep up this
because he caught her on the phone to the prison asking about Mick. And she said, "Oh no, it's because of Ollie. He wants to see him. I don't want anything to do."
He was quite spot on, wasn't he? Because he didn't hear the conversation.
He walked in and said, "You were in the prison to Mick." Like, what?
I know, because there was no hint to say that he was listening to a conversation.
No, he just knew.
He just walked up to her and was like, "Oh, maybe he's got some kind of skill."
Sounds like you're talking to Clive, the security guard at the prison. So yeah, that was odd. Very. He just took a guess, maybe.
Oh, well, I mean,
wild guess.
Yeah, I suppose who would Linda talk to? All her friends are on the square. Well, apart from Sharon. No, that's true.
She's with Michelle.
I mean, again, Sharon, she knows Linda's in need here, and she just goes off and.
It's her best bud, Michelle.
Yeah, I suppose.
Takes first pride in place, she does.
Over her fake best bud, Linda.
And then her reserve, Mel, is just on the back burner.
Yeah. When the other two don't want to know her at the time.
So this all led up to the special two-hander, which we talked about.
So, yes, this was a good episode.
Which I predicted with the hair bun. Just want everyone to know that.
So you made another good prediction that Linda had it all in hand from beginning to end. So Shirley has told Linda to hurry up. She needs to get things done now, or else if she doesn't do it, Shirley's going to do it Shirley's way, which I can only presume would be a lot of yelling.
Another gun.
Yeah, gun and
or
guns
a bat.
and shouting.
So yeah, Linda's plan is going. So she's obviously trying to get Stuart to confess by like seducing him. She's obviously hoping that he confesses before it goes too far.
Yeah, the act.
I'm assuming. Because it's a bit of like a sore point with Linda's character, this.
Yeah.
Like trying to seduce someone like that, knowing what happened.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, we have to remember that Linda had been raped. And so to use sex as a manipulation technique seems a little bit out of character, or wouldn't seem like something she would...
No, even no matter how desperate she was.
Yeah.
So whether they were trying to show how desperate she was, or whether if it did come down to it, she wouldn't have been able to go through with it.
Maybe. She asked Stuart very leading questions. She said, if you told me that Mick would shoot someone, I wouldn't believe you. This is like, I don't believe Mick would have shot someone.
She's been quite obvious.
She was being a bit obvious. And Stuart kind of picked up on it and seemed to be quite suspicious and said to her, is there something you want to say, Linda? And Linda realised instantly, she suddenly sat up and realised that perhaps she's being a little bit too keen.
Blown her cover here. And he found the recording device behind the bed when she went out of the room to get the champagne.
Yes, not very well hidden, but better hidden than his first guesses, which was the drawer.
In the drawer, yeah. So yeah, he found that, and then we thought, oh, well, that's that then. She's
she's been caught. Yeah. She's been ratted.
And he sort of went along with it for a bit. And we thought, oh God, is he gonna like have sex with her to like prove a point? But he did when it got to it. He sort of called it off himself, didn't he? And thought, oh, you're actually gonna go ahead with this.
Yeah, he starts laughing.
And showed his cards.
Yeah, quite manically. He starts laughing. Saying, "Oh my God, you're actually going to go through with this?" And Linda's question, like, "What do you mean? I'm going to go through with it? Go through with what? I love you, Stuart. Oh, you're the best. Yeah. I've never loved Mick." I mean, that she did.
It's horrible knowing that he knew what she was doing. It was really quite uncomfortable. Some of the scenes.
It really. That's what I say. I was holding my breath throughout. It was really quite tense. Like my body was rigid. Yeah. I look like that scene from The Ring when you find them. You know?
Yeah, because it's like a horrible situation for two characters to be in anyway. But knowing how unhinged Stuart is, like you just don't know what would happen next because of him.
Yeah. Did you notice that throughout this two-hander and from there on in, every time like something bad is about to happen with Stuart, Christmas music is playing.
Oh, is it?
So they're using Christmas music as they're always trying to ruin Christmas music for us.
Make it identify with his
his evil going
craziness. But it ended up they went then downstairs because they were arguing. She hit him with a bottle in the exact same place he keeps getting hit. So I don't know if that's going to be like an ongoing. A long-term injury eventually.
Hemorrhage of the brain.
Oh, he's been hit there twice by Tina. Twice by Tina. Once in the Archers and then once with a vase.
Yeah, didn't she hit him also at the cafe? When he was at the cafe as well? With the jug?
No, the laundrette.
Oh, laundrette. All right, Pete Bill.
No, laundrette.
Didn't she? I think Tina hit him with a glass jug as well at the second cafe, Joe's Cafe. Yeah, Joe's
and
Cafe.
And in the laundrette. She didn't hit him in the laundrette.
No,
that's when she ran to the Archers. So he's been hit there twice.
Maybe
now Linda's hit there.
Yeah, maybe they're playing the long game because if you get hit in the head too many times, you get dementia.
Because it's always the same spot as well. They're hitting.
Yeah, so it's always this. Maybe they're just using the same makeup or something. But yeah, so they could be playing the long game, just slowly winding him down bit by bit by knocking him out all the time.
Bit like Lucy's murder. She kept getting hit in the same place, didn't she?
With the back of the head, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to say, he has had a lot of hits to the head. Maybe it is. That's what's going to happen. He's just going to suddenly die, and everyone will, and then there'll be the story of who killed Stuart for real, and it'll be like
which hit was the last hit,
and it'll be like God killed Stuart. It was natural causes through all the hits on his head. You know,
so maybe they're working towards that. We had some quite interesting scenes because Linda has now gone to the police with her recording that she got from him.
How did she get it? Because you did.
Yeah, it's in her hair. Her iconic hair bun. Part of her character, so it had to come into play. Didn't it?
Absolutely. And
she obviously thought, well, if I do end up sleeping with Stuart, he won't bother taking it out.
No, he likes to boil it.
He won't put his hands through it. Get stuck in it.
He's got no hair of his own. Why would he bother?
So yeah, he was all cocky because he thought he'd found the recorder. So he did actually say, "Oh no, Mick didn't shoot me." But yeah, she had it on her little laptop.
That's right. So she do you reckon she emailed it or?
No, I'm not sure.
Wi-Fi'd it to the police station.
I mean, it is
at police.
dodgy evidence, really. Like a recording under those circumstances.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because you can't really say that it's not admissible. It's not. It doesn't really give it without possible doubt because he could have said that just to stop her from hitting him around the head again.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose if you listen to the recording prior to that, you can hear he does attempt to rape her.
Yeah,
he says, "Why should I ask permission for something?" And I suppose it kind of then that would give a bit of a build up for why he was the one in control of that situation. But
maybe it's just enough for the police to then question him and he'll fall into his own trap. But he ends up then blaming Dylan, poor Mr. Box.
Well, yes, he says that Dylan had blackmailed him and threatened his daughter that if he hadn't lied and said that Stuart had shot
his
him.
best mate Mick.
Yeah. He did it again. He said it that he did it because he wanted to put Linda out of her misery. It was ripping her apart, and that he eventually said it to her because he had to get it off his own chest. So he's again trying to play it's not me. I'm the good guy here. But he does also manipulate the police officer by saying, "Yeah, I have been bad in the past, and perhaps I was a bit nasty toward Dylan in the past, which pushed him to do what he did. But on this occasion, Dylan started manipulating me and threatening me." So again,
Dylan, who can't string a sentence together, is manipulating people.
But if you remember rightly, though, at the police, you are right. But at the police station, he was very confident, and he was quite happy to say, "Oh yeah, I've got proof that I wasn't there at the time." Again, Stuart said that he knew a lot of people that he could have lied for him. But I think with a proper background check, the police could have seen that Dylan Box isn't the kind of person who would lie.
Lives with his mum.
Exactly. He's not the. That's an awful thing to say. Yeah, exactly. He lives with his mum. He's a weakling. No, but that's not
what Stuart says.
But yes, in the world of imagination of Stuart. But I think if with a proper background check, if the police were to do one, they would see that Dylan Box isn't the kind of man who would have killed or attempted to kill someone, then got someone else to blackmail.
It's too late now because there's a video and Dylan Box has gone missing.
Yeah, well, again, Dylan stood up for himself at the canal.
Yes, and Stuart wanted to meet him because he got out on bail and stuff. And
yes,
he wants to get a confession from Dylan saying that he's the one that did it.
Yeah,
and this is at the same time when we learn that Dylan moved the gun for Stuart in the Vic.
Yes,
as well. So that's that kind of cleared up.
Yeah, so that explains.
But little did they know that Linda then took the gun and put it in the canal
and moved it again. Yeah.
So
we know that Dylan was there, and Dylan knew more than he was letting.
He was the one that ran out of the door when we heard that door on that time. So that's that cleared up at least.
Phew! At least that little detail was done.
But so yeah, Stuart has gone he's almost now that we're assuming he's killed Dylan.
We're on the assumption he's killed Dylan because he threatened Dylan to make a confession video, and when Dylan refused, he hung him over the canal. And that's all you saw until later when you saw the video of the confession. But the passport, Dylan's passport, and the money was still next to.
Because the deal originally was he makes this confession, takes the money, passport, and runs away. But Stuart's still got the money and the passport,
So has he just left Dylan in the lurch and basically got him to do the confession and said, "No, I'm not going to give you the money and the passport. You're in trouble, mate. You're going to go to prison." Or has he killed Dylan?
Well, maybe he thought, it's safer for me if Dylan can't speak. So yeah, tracked him over the dam, I assume. So whether his body's going to turn up, it kind of looks like a suicide video he made on his phone, I guess now.
Do you think? And also, did he? Was it filmed that he? I can't really remember.
He must have been holding it
himself. Yeah. I mean, Friday was an excellent episode. It has to be said, as was Thursday's episode. Thursday and Friday was, good EastEnders fodder. This is the kind of stuff you want from EastEnders. A bit of a dark, twisted story that, kind of twists and turns all the time, and manipulation is involved, and people are getting fooled left, right, and centre. Even Phil Mitchell had been fooled by Stuart.
Yes.
I mean, this is Phil Mitchell.
Well, we know that this year Phil keeps saying, "Oh, I'm sponsoring blah blah. I'm sponsoring this person. I'm
through
counselling this person." So Stuart, we know that Stuart's good at picking up things off people and manipulating. So he said, "Oh, I've been sober. I'm just trying to start out again," and that's why Phil must have been like, "Okay, here's some money."
Yeah, all right then. Well, no, it was a key, wasn't it? Keys to a car, wasn't it? Or
yeah, and the cash.
Oh, he asked for cash as well.
Offered Dylan.
Oh, okay.
That's where that cash was from, I think. So, yeah, he's got a car. So I don't know what he's going to do with the car.
Well, I just thought he got the car from Phil and sold it off quick.
Oh, what, that quick?
Yeah, and then that's how we got the money sorted out quickly.
Or he's going to play some torture in that car later.
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
Maybe we're going to have a game of torture. I mean, the second the episode ended, there was a trailer with Mick Carter.
Yeah.
So we know that Mick's out at least over Christmas. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Do you reckon he'll play Torturer with "I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day" playing loudly on the radio?
Maybe. I think something's going to happen, and Mick's going to end up playing Torturer on Stuart.
Yes, because we know there's violent scenes between Stuart and Mick over the Christmas
on
period.
location.
Yeah,
which is always fun.
Hopefully more drone action on location as well. We do enjoy a drone on EastEnders.
Yeah, very high budget. But I mean, it'd be a bit silly of Mick to then like murder Stuart if he's just got out of prison.
Yeah,
but it makes Linda's plan a bit like, you're back in prison because you're now going to murder Stuart. But maybe that's the only way to stop him.
We had that kind of week or two where we saw Mick in prison, but we don't know really what's been going on. He might have been just keeping his head down and not been doing much.
How's fingers? Is his hand recovered?
Quite. How's the guy who likes licking bean cans and...
Because when Stuart did that phone call and he said, "Oh, meet me in 30 minutes in the usual place," I thought, "Oh, he's going to phone the prison people and tell the top dog, right, get rid of Mick," or like something like that." But he didn't.
No, but he had to get Dylan box.
Yeah, I suppose that's priority.
Yeah, and then he'd probably. But that's another thing. Next week, perhaps it's going to be something to do with Mick. But then is Mick released now? Have they got?
As far as I know, he's out on Monday. Yeah, he returns.
But they don't really have the evidence yet. Unless over the weekend they're going to work doubly hard and find out that Dylan's gone on the run or something.
Yeah, I mean, EastEnders are a few days behind because that two-hander was the same night as Hayley's birthday. So
no, Hayley's birthday was the day before.
The day before, yeah. So they are a few days behind. So I guess by the time we're on Monday, they may have skipped like 5 days.
Yeah, because it's like December 2nd in Wolford at the moment, isn't it? So
silly like that.
Advent calendars are right.
So the loft extension will be well away by then.
Oh yeah, his one-day plan might come to fruition.
Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting to see what happens next with Mick and Stuart, and also how what Mick thinks of Linda's plan, because he doesn't know anything about it.
No, I mean Linda didn't go forward to do anything, but it got quite intimate, so I'm sure Mick's not going to be too pleased.
Because when he kissed Whitney once, that was the end of the world.
Yes, I remember that.
So yeah, that'd be interesting to just see how the sort of family dynamics go with Tina and everyone, if she can convince.
We shouldn't forget Tina. Tina got ridiculously upset because she wasn't in on the plan, forgetting that
Can't ruin the plan.
Yeah, she just ruined it.
You didn't tell me the plan, so I could ruin it, Linda.
Exactly. Why didn't you tell me? And yeah, she got really proper upset, didn't she? She was like, "Why don't you keep me involved with these things?" I mean, Tina's a funny character, isn't she? Because she's had so much happen to her that she should be this really strong woman, but she's very much reverts to childhood, doesn't she?
Yeah, they touched upon that earlier in the year when they did that weird story with Zaza's like friend giving birth.
Yeah,
and that was meant to be like showing her growing up, but then she hasn't.
It's been a funny old,
really weird.
scenario.
And she still wears those weird like kids' clothes.
She does, although I do like her Dolly Mixtures bracelet.
Don't let Lily see them; she might eat them.
Crunch.
Right. So next up, we are on to a game, and it might not quite be what you're expecting. Hello and welcome to what you may think is Jack Branning's Witness Protection. But it's a bit different this week. It's actually Roy Quick's old-fashioned Witness Protection.
Roy Quick? That's a throwback.
So a crime is being committed in the square, and Roy Quick has vowed to protect the identity of the culprit.
In between his flirting with
Women,
yeah.
and I am the only witness, and I cannot lie. So you have 60 seconds to ask yes or no questions to try and work out who I saw committing the crime. So I'm just going to read my witness statement, and then you can begin your questioning.
Lovely.
So this week, I accidentally fell back in time to 1986.
Accidentally? I just seemed to trip into a time hole.
I decided to take a walk around the square. Everyone was very distracted by Lou Bill, who was telling everyone what to do. When Kathy was distracted from her knitting stool, I noticed someone steal a jumper from her. Now, I'm not one to gossip, but if you could guess who I saw, I'll just have to tell you. So remember the era? It's 1986.
Okay.
Just so you know. So in 60 seconds, can you guess who I saw stealing from Kathy's knit stool?
That's a new stall as well. She had to take out the Christmas money for that.
Yes, well.
Lucky she did, some might say.
So 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I'm presuming... Okay, is it a bill that stole?
Yes.
Oh, okay, right. So, the clues were Lou and Kathy. So, Peter wasn't too keen on her knitting stool. Was it Peter Bill stealing a jumper?
Yes.
Oh, yes!
Oh.
Well, that was an obvious one, because you mentioned Lou Bill and Kathy Bill. And I know how your train of thought works, so I just thought there's going to be a Bill. So I'm quite pleased with myself.
Well, Pete Bill's not happy with the thing, so he wants her to shut it down. So he stole stuff from her.
Oh, so he stole stuff so that he was able to sabotage her somewhat.
Put Kathy down.
Didn't work with Arthur, did it? I mean, he always puts Kathy down, doesn't he? So we've got a bit of time. Let's talk about how Pete... Yeah.
That's what he did when he stole it. He went...
You should have put that in the witness. He was laughing. He's like the Grinch, isn't he? He's the Grinch who stole fun.
But so Roy Quick will be pleased.
Well, that's another crime solved. In his... Doesn't he work for a private security firm now?
Yes. In witness protection.
Oh, right.
Well, that was a failure. So
it wasn't a failure for me. This is the first time I've ever won this game.
In 2 questions.
Yes. So I could tell the disappointment in your your face was so disappointed when I said it. It was like, is it a Bill? And you went, yes.
At least I knew if he was a Bill or Fowler, so that's good.
That's a turn up for the books.
Well, there you go. That was Roy Quick's old-fashioned witness protection. Well, while we're on the subject of 1986...
I thought we were still in 1986. We haven't travelled back to 2018 just yet.
No, I just wanted to quickly touch upon a requested item, apparently. We've had about 3 or 4 requests for this.
We really have. Thank you for anyone who's got in touch.
Although they want their own dedicated podcast, but no.
We don't have time to do that. We're sorry.
So we're just going to do a quick roundup of classic EastEnders, which you can catch on Drama. The Christmas Day, they're showing it next week. But then they're repeating Christmas Day one again on Christmas Day.
Oh, right.
That's what
so
they're
doing.
Not...
Oh, okay. Because Ben and I were discussing about how are they're going to have to stop
3
showing
weeks.
episodes for a while. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to keep myself till Christmas Day, I think.
I'm not.
Oh, aren't you going to watch it early?
I just watch it twice.
Okay, fair enough. But how amazing is that? They're showing the original 1986 Angie and then divorce papers on Christmas
Prime
Day.
time.
And they're showing it just before then the EastEnders episode on BBC One. It's like they planned
exciting.
it.
So yeah, lots been going on. We've had a trip to Venice with Jan and Dan. Jan and Den and Ange.
Yes, but Ange and Den didn't know that Jan was going to be there.
No.
Jan was there for to meet her Italian friend for a wedding.
She's got men all around the world, hasn't she?
Jan's a jet setter.
With her telephone.
I know, she's got one of those old BT telephones as well, with the little narrow buttons, like the ones the BT used to give everyone for free if you joined up the BT. Honestly, I remember them so well.
Yeah, I don't like Jan.
Don't you?
No, she's quite selfish.
Oh, she's incredibly selfish and arrogant as well.
Like, she knows that she's intruding on a whole family here, and she doesn't care.
No,
really.
But she's even had Sharon on her heels. Like, Sharon has made a visit to her.
No, Sharon phoned her up and was like, "I need to speak to you," and then she goes around and said, "Well, I might as well go." It's like, where's Sharon?
All right, Sharon, calm down. She's still wearing her Bebop t-shirt jumper.
She is.
I love that Bebop jumper. If they were to remake...
She's working in a supermarket.
Yes, she's hoping to be manager one day.
With her blouse.
She's going to work from the bottom up. She's going to learn all the intricate details of working in a supermarket. And one day...
It didn't last, did it?
No, it did not.
We had an off-screen wedding of Michelle and Lofty, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah, really surprised for that.
So yeah, I didn't like that either. That was like...
Oh, I did. I thought it was quite fitting because they
explained it afterwards because the confetti fell out of his pocket and it made her love him again.
Yes, they fell back in love. And then oh, it was really sweet when they were on the sofa and he's like, "Are you sure? You reckon we did the right thing?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely sure." And he's like, "Oh, I've got something. I've got a surprise for you." And he still had a little bit of confetti in his pocket and he threw it in the air and was like, "Oh."
And his lovely aunt was in it again. And she's such a nice character.
She's lovely, isn't she?
I just feel really sad every time I see her. Which she's just like a once every now and then character. You don't really normally get attached to them, but I quite like her.
And also Lofty's aunt is done in such a way that you can tell that she slowly is
getting worse.
Dying. Yeah. So when you first met her, she was just sitting in the nursing room.
Yeah, with the nuns walking around.
Yeah, I love the nuns. When I get old, I want to, even though I'm not any religion inclination, I do want to be at like a Catholic like nursing home. Yeah, just so I can see all the nuns scurrying around and looking after me. But yeah, so she starts off in that room, and then she was obviously wheelchaired when she went to the wedding, and then was let down, and now she's bedbound. So again, it's such a subtle thing, but really well done that you can tell that she's slowly dying, and she offers to pay for their holiday, and they're thinking about going abroad, maybe Tenerife or Spain.
You go back to the Lou Bill now.
Yeah, but Lou is having none of it. Margate. Yeah,
I don't
lovely
see what's
time.
wrong with that.
Yeah, lovely time in Margate. I've had some of my best holidays with Arthur, not Arthur, it's Albert.
Albert, yeah.
I've had my best holidays with Albert in Margate. So she's adamant if they go anywhere but Margate, Lou's not.
Yeah, it's pointless.
I think Lou wants to go with them secretly. That's her plan.
I love Lou. She's so funny.
I mean, Lou's had a few encounters this week, hasn't she? She's been setting out the rules. Especially
well, Arthur's
Arthur.
had his breakdown starting. His depression storyline is well into gear now.
Yeah,
and he's like lashing out.
The way they're portraying it, I don't know if it was a recognisable mental illness at the time, but it seems like it's bipolar.
Yeah.
One minute he's very like, and then next minute he's really apologetic, and almost like he doesn't realise, almost schizophrenic that he doesn't realise what he had done. It's a really
Yelling
interesting.
at Pete,
yeah, I
which
know.
I always enjoy.
I know, I was enjoying every minute of that.
Sorry, mate. Here's a bit.
I mean, Arthur, Peter's such soppy as well. He's like, he's being physically attacked by Arthur. At one point saying, "Do you want to take this outside?" And he's like, "Don't forget about it, mate. Let's get a pint." It's like, all
the
right,
London
Pete.
way.
What's the London way? The London way is to whack him around the head and scoot him behind the pub.
I love how Pete and Arthur were just arguing and Kathy and Pauline were just looking at each other, like shaking their heads.
Yeah, like an old boys.
I'm sorry, Kath. Yeah, I'm sorry, Pauline.
Men will be men.
Oh, it is funny. But yeah, we're leading up to the divorce as well, because Den's doing that behind her back.
The big Christmas, yes. And he's...
That everyone knows about.
Well, I know. Den's telling everyone on the square that he's divorcing Angie. He's just told Colin, because he's asked Colin to do a comical Christmas card for everyone.
A caricature of them divorcing.
Yeah. Handing their papers to one.
And also one more thing is Ethel feels like she's been folded up and put away.
Yeah, poor old Ethel. She's just got out of hospital and she's having her bed because she has to stay with Dot because someone has to be caring for her the whole time. Dot's husband's back, Charlie, stealing her cigarettes and her money
and her £10 notes.
Yeah, £10. And when she confronts Charlie about it, he's then using her kind of forgetfulness as an excuse. Oh, I did tell you this. Oh, I'm sure you gave me that tenner.
Yeah.
But Dot is onto him.
She is slowly.
Yeah, but Ethel's had her flat. They call it a flat. It's more of a bedsit, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's had it taken away
Pat's
from her. Pat Evans is moving in, much to the disgust of Pete and Simon, Wixie.
And Ethel.
And Ethel, as you said, feels like she's just being swept under the carpet and forgotten. I know. I love Ethel. She breaks my heart.
Every line of dialogue she does, it's just like...
Oh!
I love her.
Yeah. But someone who is pleased that Pat Evans is moving in is Punk Mary. Because she needs...
I know. She's got a mate.
She's got a mate on the square.
I've been doing stripping. Now I can do prostituting.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's where it's leading, isn't it? So she's going to be...
It's quite a dark story for Pat, actually.
Yeah. She's got some ties still, hasn't she? In the...
Well, she was offering herself to Charlie Cotton, wasn't she?
Well, that's right.
For a good time, the right price, I'll do anything.
Oh, did she say? Yeah, well, there you go.
She said, I'm an expensive girl, but for the right price, you know where it leads. With her boobs out and her little jumper.
Pat has been flirting with anyone who has a pulse, who's male in there. Wilmot Brown has had a go.
Oh, yeah. He's not interested, though. He wants Debbie.
He does want Debbie. Although he's offering Debbie a lower price because she's got damp. Is it damp or... dry rot.
Yeah, bad job by Tony.
Which is a bad job by Tony. Tony's got himself another job because he doesn't want to be at home with his wife because it's just them two at home now.
Her. Hannah.
Oh, she's awful, isn't she?
I haven't seen Cassie in ages.
Cassie's gone.
I love her. Her last episode is the 25th December.
So it's Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss Cassie so much.
The last time we saw her, she was eating beans on toast and she had a bit of grass in her hair because she'd run away.
Well, she was getting proper fed up with the beans on toast. Then she had a fry up. She once loved Ian. No, she doesn't. She got beaten.
Oh,
Hit me.
I'm so upset
Oh,
about Cassie leaving soon. I've got a few days left. She's not even there.
Well, she's not even there for the time that she's not left. Calvin's started a relationship as well with the social worker around the square.
She's very old for him. It looks weird.
I don't know. I quite like Calvin's grown up, hasn't he? He's become quite the man.
In the year,
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like Calvin's character, actually. He's like a modern man.
Absolutely, yeah.
He's really forward-thinking and he just says what he wants. But he says it calmly and doesn't just shout.
Well, he gave his dad advice, didn't he, as well? And he said, "Oh, I'm getting advice from my son now." And that was a good scene actually in the laundrette, especially when Pauline, because he still saw that Calvin's not quite an adult just yet, because when he was putting the laundry in the things, you're going to need powder with that, and Pauline kind of goes over and pops it in the machine for him.
Poor Pauline, got the weight of the world on her shoulders.
She really has, but she quite likes the work, doesn't she? She's got the pub, she's got Colin's flat, and she's got the laundrette.
Busy woman. Arthur's got nothing.
Oh, well, other than his depression.
And his leaks.
And his, yes. Well, no, he hasn't been to his allotment for a while, has he?
That's true.
So that was this week.
It's a roundup of about 4 months worth of EastEnders classics in about 5 minutes. How exciting.
Back next week.
Yeah, we'll say goodbye to Cassie.
Yes. So all those, there you go. So we do listen to you guys. So if you have any suggestions, please do tweet them to us at EastEnders Week, or email us eastendersweekly@gmail.com.
Julius Legacy was someone's suggestion. Look at that.
Yeah, look what's
10
happened.
parts.
It's like a
ongoing.
It's like a hurricane of information in your head.
Hurricane Julia. So we are actually going back now to current storylines, and we are talking about the choir.
Okay.
Which,
where's the Christmas festive staple? They have to do something a bit
festive. They have
festive.
to do something silly.
Yeah. And it's bubbling, and it's bubbling a few storylines, isn't it? So there's
Sonia got one line,
yes,
which is more than what she's had recently at the choir.
It's funny because it is good, and it's funny how you said on Twitter that Sonia has become an extra, because it has felt a bit like
she
way,
sits in the background and doesn't say anything. And Bex just sits next to her all the time.
Bex, who's a musician, who writes her own songs and has
too shy. Is that her problem?
No.
Why is she not going for the solo?
Have you not noticed that they've almost used characters where they've got nothing for them to basically make the choir storyline? So they've got Billy and Honey.
Adam,
and
Kim.
I was about to say
Ian.
Adam Wood, Ian. Jean's got a lot on, as we said.
I don't know why she's there.
I think she's just a Kathy replacement. I think if it had been any other time, it would have been Ian and Kathy.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, Sonia. And they've not used any actual kind of, inverted commas, extras as to bulk up the choir.
They've got the actual cast.
They've actually, actual A cast. So it's a really strange situation.
It's not really heading anywhere. It's not really, I don't know. Is this where Kim's pregnancy comes into it at Christmas during the choir? Or?
Well, no, we know, she gives birth.
But that's to do with Phil.
Yeah.
So Phil wouldn't be there for the choir, so...
Well, he might have been. He might have turned up just to hear it.
And they're kind of hinting at that weird relationship with Ian and Jean.
Yes, there's Ian and Jean's relationship.
I'd prefer to just be friendship, really.
I don't think it's going to go that far.
No.
I think it will go that far, and then it'll just be like, oh, we've been silly, we're both fools, let's just be friends. And then they'll probably never speak to each other again on the square again.
Yeah, it's strange. I was quite worried. I tweeted saying this Jean keeping the secret will be the death of her. But I meant that because she was getting really stressed. Not that she was going to get killed off. But then, some journalist, I don't know who he was, commented it saying with a shush emoji.
What?
I know. So what does that mean? Just a shush emoji. But what? They can't kill Jean at Christmas, surely. So that upset me. This emoji.
Oh, sorry, there was a notable silence then. I don't.
But it's a weird thing. It was I don't know who it was. But it was a journalist.
Yeah.
And he just put a shush. And a monkey with his eyes in front of his hands in front of his eyes.
Hopefully he's just saying, "Oh shush, don't say that. I can't bear it," because I can't bear it.
No.
Oh no, I don't want.
Because Adam, Ian's there for Christmas Day as well, isn't he?
Yes.
So why is Ian there with Jean?
Moral support.
Haley, secrets, surprise death.
This attic, Alfie Moon has a lot to answer for. I'm telling you this.
It better be Alfie that gets crushed or whatever.
I mean, he's come in and he's just basically ruined a lot of good stories.
We also learnt a bit more about Morag, the choir
mistress,
master,
yeah.
and she's just saying all these fake names. Apparently none of them are going to turn up on the day, so that's upset Ian. So now he doesn't really want anything to do with it. And Kim's Googled her to find out she's not as amazing as she pretends.
Yes, all these things that she says. Yes, she has been in like Broadway, but Broadway in Manchester or something like that. And you know, all these people she says she knows, she probably doesn't have any connections or links with. Jean gets quite upset actually with Ian because Jean accuses Ian only being there for meeting these celebrities and these contacts.
Really?
Well, yeah, but Jean was the one who encouraged him to go based on the fact
because of Alan Sugar.
Seeing Alan Sugar. So really, Jean has no right to be upset.
Jean. Don't be mean to Jean on her last month on Earth.
How dare you? Not on Earth, no. Oh, do you know?
Create a lot of tension with Stacey, though, wouldn't it? Give her a storyline next year.
What, you've killed my mum?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
No, I hate. Karen's been promoted in the choir. She's
this is stupid. Shoehorning Karen into it like this.
Wait, you?
Yeah, but her job is like, that's not...
She's gone from being the page turner to an actual singer. That's a promotion. Yeah.
I didn't know.
She said, "Can I sing?" She said, "Can I sing now?" And Morag said, "Yeah, if you want." Introduced her to the choir.
Okay.
So, but who's going to turn the pages now? Eh? Who's going to
Kindle.
Yeah.
Or Ian. He doesn't really sing, does he?
He does sing.
Maybe Kathy will come back and she's like, "Oh, if I knew this was on, I would have come back earlier.
Yeah.
Is there a place for me?"
Turn the pages.
Yeah, you can turn the pages.
Go over there. Turn the pages.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she would. Well, she would be included.
To be included is enough.
That's all Kathy wants, just to be included.
And the last thing we need to talk about, because it's not really a story, but there was a few scenes with Louise and Keanu doing driving lessons and some looks and casual flirting going on.
Yeah, so it's hinting that Louise and Keanu are going to start maybe having a relationship of some sort, and obviously this is going to be another chink in the armour of the Keanu story.
But last week she was like with Keegan, so it's a bit weird.
Well,
she doesn't really know what she wants, does she?
She messaged Keegan. There was a reference to that. She messaged Keegan, but Keegan didn't reply. So and she asks Keanu, "Why do men never reply?" And then Keanu replied, "Why do women never put the toilet seat up after they finish using it?" And then that was basically that. So that explained the Keegan thing. So I'm presuming Keegan's still feeling a bit sorry for himself, maybe a bit angry at Louise for tearing up the drugs, and
saving his life.
Yeah. Stopping him from.
But yeah, I don't want this. I don't want Louise and Keanu.
I mean,
especially where Keanu said how much he loves Sharon and stuff, and how devoted he is.
I agree. I think you've seen this really lovely soft side of Keanu. That this thing with Sharon wasn't just a passing wind; it was a proper thing to Keanu. And now he's thinking about sleeping with Louise.
Knowing that his brother is also kind of seeing her.
Yeah, but that is Keegan's fault. He's not really bothering.
Yeah, but still, he knows that his brother. I don't know, it's just weird.
Fancies her or likes her. I mean, that's another thing. I suppose that also leans toward the story with Keegan because it means it's that Keegan has got against him, feeling sad for himself.
Do you think Louise is doing it on purpose? Like, she still suspects him and Sharon, so she's doing it on purpose to, test or shove it in front of Sharon's face when she gets back and see what she says?
I've got a funny feeling she does, yeah. I think she does know, and she thinks that she's tried the I'm going to tell Dad approach and it's not worked out. So I'm going to try the more
charm.
The charm, the more of a blackmail
the Lisa Fowler approach.
Why not?
It's the mum approach.
Who shot Keanu? That's the next story.
Oh no,
that's the next big story. So so that was the week that was in Wolford. Quite a busy week, quite a big week, and a good week too. As we said, Thursday and Friday were good episodes.
Low points, Alfie Moon again, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. I mean,
and Tiffany and Bernie kissing is weird.
Well, the Tiffany and Bernie story is just that it doesn't really link very well, as you said. But no, the rest of it, fun. Mm-hmm. So, as always, we end the episode with our poll of the week, which is posted on Twitter when EastEnders is broadcast on a Monday night in the UK. You can find it at EastEnders Week. This week's poll was
very decisive this week. There's lots of opinions popping up. I saw. I've not read any of them, but there was loads of comments popping up everywhere.
Yeah, they've really lots and lots of comments. And thank you for everyone who voted as well, because honestly, throughout the week I was keeping an eye on it, obviously, because I posted it. And at one point, each one of the 4 items was number 1, so it kind of caused a bit of a split. But eventually, one did become the outright winner. So the question was, what was the worst EastEnders storyline of 2018? And the offerings we gave you were Woody steals E20 money. That was a That was a nugget, wasn't it? The chess tournament, Mass and Ian's samosa feud, or Joyce's treasure hunt?
Oh no.
I know. Each one of them gold.
Oh,
And
they're so bad in so different ways.
they were. So in last place was the Samosa feud at 16%. In third place, Joyce's treasure hunt at 21%. So it's between Woody steals the money at E20 or the chess tournament. Who do you think was number one?
Chess, it has to be.
It was, yeah. So Woody was second with 27% and the chess tournament at 36%. But as Ben had alluded to, we had loads of comments. I'm going to read a few of them out now. At EastEnd Uploads said, it's a tough choice, but at least we didn't have to deal with the travesty that was Mick and Whitney this year. That was the worst storyline of all time.
I bet he got some. Did he get any backlash from that? Because like the Mickney fans like hate it when people don't like that
they
story.
really like that story.
Yeah.
At EastEnders Fan 21 did reply and said, I wouldn't say worst. Obviously you're a fan, but I think there have been a lot worse. The Christmas Choir could be one of them, and the chess story is on the list too. So there we go.
Yeah, the choir one, but that's not finished yet, so we can't put it on there.
I mean, Christmas Choir, I actually replied to...
Because it's Christmas.
Yeah, because it's Christmas, but also they like to do kind of seasonal things at Christmas. So they did the play and the Christmas Choir and the pantomime. I forgive it because it's seasonal.
Yeah.
So it gets some...
It has to be.
Yeah, it gets some forgiveness. At RT24Luck said the chess tournament storyline was quality. I think someone's being sarcastic.
I hope so.
At Luke Elkins TV said, you didn't include the Aiden thingy. And that's true, we didn't.
It was on the list of choices.
Yeah, when we were narrowing them down, we
didn't make it.
We didn't quite make it. There were a lot, to be fair. But no, the Aiden thing was there. But the Aiden thing kind of it had its
was
moments.
Okay, yeah.
It
wasn't chess.
It certainly was not. Right, at NA88844441 said all of them. Simple.
Got a point.
He really has. I asked if there were any more suggestions, and she said, bring back storylines that were in the 90s. I mean, we've discussed this before. So, yes. At EE_cast card. And EastEnders Cast Cards is a fan of ours, by the way, so do check him out on Instagram.
His
as
Instagram's
well.
really good.
His Instagram's
I love
amazing.
looking at all like he has like loads of the original like cast photos and all sorts signed.
Yeah, and he gets loads of them, doesn't he? Even the past cards, and he makes his own cast cards too. They're really cool. So yeah, check him out. EastEnders Cast Cards on Instagram and Twitter. He said he liked the chess tournament as it created a good bond between Ted and Bernie. So he doesn't understand why people don't like it so much.
That relationship was nice for a bit, but it still doesn't excuse the bad storyline.
It's true. At Danny Rowe 69975 said the agent heist storyline, but he also said anything involving Billy Mitchell.
Yeah, that's true.
So true. Very true. At Hufflepuff, I told you, loads of people. At Hufflepuff Lock said, I completely forgot about the Woody stuff. To be honest, I forgot he was a character. So, yeah, as do we all. And to finish it off, at Tattoo_blonde said, I effing hate Masood.
That's me.
Yeah. I mean, as we say, thanks to everyone who posted on that Twitter. Like I say, got a great response. Loads of people voted. You can always find our Twitter at EastEnders Week. You can also find us on Instagram at EastEnders Weekly Podcast. On Facebook, just search EastEnders Weekly Podcast. And you can email us, eastenders_weekly@gmail.com.
That's right. And I just want to take this time to let you know I'm a bit worried.
All right, what about?
I've told a big fat lie. Not just a little tiny little one, but a great big massive huge one. And if he ever found out, he'd kill me.